We're back with Agatha All Along episode 5, and it's Darkest Hour, Wake Thy Power, which is also a lyric from the ballad, which everything has been so far, but what does it mean? I'm here to walk you through a couple of the things that I noticed, Easter eggs or not, and just kind of recap some of the comic lore as we go along. So this episode had a lot of really cool comic lore and some really cool stuff coming up. So let's just dive into it. The Salem Seven have actually been confirmed to be the children of people that Agatha had killed, so the daughters of the witches that you could not kill. But Agatha did kill them. They are confirmed to be the animals we have been seeing spying on Agatha the entire first part in Westview, and now they have entered the Witch's Road because they left the door open, which is also a thing that comes up later when they say when you use a Ouija board, you should always say goodbye. You should always close your little spells, if you will. So one of my real questions going into this trial is that it's said to be Agatha's trial, but I don't know if it's actually Agatha's trial because I think it might be Rio's, because Rio has not been tested, the Earth Witch hasn't been tested yet. And regardless, I do think that while this is supposed to be Agatha's trial, it might be Rio's, and I think it's because the only thing that can really hurt Rio is Agatha being in pain of some sort. Take that information as you will as we go forward with Agatha's trial. Teen finds the handbook for the Ouija board, which is a toy that was mass-produced. So there's not really anything witchy really about it besides, or like spiritual about it, because it is just a board game, but there is, you know, suspicion and stuff for those who are superstitious, I should say. For those who are superstitious, it is a scary game, which is kind of the joke for when Lilia reads the, or is like, what's on the back? And it's like ages 3 to whatever. Very funny. They do sit down and start doing their little Ouija session. Agatha's just joking around because this is very like teen movie sleepover, so like she's definitely faking it for the first like half of it. But when she does actually settle down, she gets freaked out and she pulls away from the board and she is possessed by the spirit of her mother. Which I've kind of said that like one of the themes of this show is going to be your relationship with your mom, because we have Lorna Wu and Alice Wu, we have Agatha and her mother, and then we have Teen and his supposed mother being Wanda, with all of the theories going around. But we continue on. She's fighting this possession. Lilia says that she hated this the first time, and then Teen is like, she's being weird again, which is very weird. It's very out of place. And a lot of these characters are a little bit out of character this episode, so they are very quick to turn on Agatha. Rio is very chatty, but also very serious, which could be that if this is her trial and not Agatha's, that she is very nervous about Agatha getting hurt, or she's just nervous about Agatha getting hurt in general, even if it's not her trial. Especially because it's kind of hinted in like other trailers that they've known each other forever, like since her Salem days, so she might have been there when Agatha's mom first, you know, died. But it is important to say that Rio was having a really good, fun time until this episode, and this is when she kind of got more serious and more like, we need to do this, I need to take care of Agatha. On the note of motherhood, there is a point to be made that Evanora has spent centuries hating Agatha, to the point where like she, even if this is an aberration like made to punish Agatha, because the theme is to punish Agatha, Evanora has spent centuries hating Agatha, but the only thing that Agatha wants is her son back. And it's also kind of, there's the theme of breaking generational curses, which generational trauma as well. It's interesting to see, because even though Agatha is so thick-skinned, so like performative, that love is still very, very much real and is very different than what her mother gave to her. When we figure out what happened to Nicholas, I think that'll be very important. Also, because of everything that was happening in this trial, when Teen does say, like when Teen finds the Ouija board and he says that it is Nicholas Scratch, I think that's the moment that Agatha understands that he is not Nicholas, because he can say it and the sigil kept him from saying his name. So if she didn't know before that, she definitely knew when he could say Nicholas Scratch. She had known because of Rio saying it, but this was like the confirmation, like that is not your son. So we get to the darkest hour, which is Alice's death, to Wake Thy Power, which is because the death affected Teen so much, he is now awakened. He has his powers on the road where there are no powers. And he's Wiccan, or at least he has the powers and the crown and the like thematics of Wiccan. It's not like said, here's Wiccan. But Agatha says that you are like your mother, and that is Wanda. So there's a lot of fun stuff with this possibility of him being Wiccan. One, that his spellbook was dropped, and Agatha says that you have to take the training wheels off, which is really fun because in the comics, Wiccan just kind of makes up spells, and then Wiccan kind of just like repeats the words that he wants the spell to do. So like if he wants to go home, he's like, take us to home, take us to home, take us to home, and then that's his spell. So I think we'll get a lot of those like more Wiccan-y spells, and I'm really excited about that, and I think that's because he dropped his spell book. The thing about Wiccan's powers is his powers are reality warping. In the 2013 Young Avengers comic, Loki says essentially that his whims and daydreams can essentially warp reality, and I kind of think that he desired this, if it is real, because it could also be a trial within a trial, and this is still within that trial, because I don't know that it's technically real. It could also just be Wiccan's reality warping, and it's his, like, this is what I wish I could do after Alice died. But they are showing him actually like doing a lot of the powers that Wanda has, which is, you know, taking over people's minds and making them do what he wants, which is what we've seen Wanda do multiple times. Mind control, baby. If Wiccan's powers end up warping the road so badly that they can't continue on, if this is actually like something that is real, the solution in the 2013 comic for a spell gone wrong by Wiccan is to either absorb his power, because it's when Kid Loki is a thing, so Kid Loki is not strong enough to take on his power and then reverse the spell, or to just reverse the spell by itself. So he has to age up, or to borrow Wiccan's power to have the power to do this spell. Or the other option is to kill him, because if you kill him, the spell is reversed. Let's hope it doesn't come to that in this series, because I like having Wiccan. We've had him. Wiccan has been my son for one episode, and I will, you know, kill everyone in this room if anything happened to him, or whatever that meme is. There is a part in my notes, and I'm going to read it from my notes because it is from the same comic run, and Loki says to Wiccan, "You are a multi-dimensional messiah. You're going to rewrite the rules of magic, and all the implications of that decision are going to echo forward and backward across realities." And then Loki says, "It's no biggie." So if we are awakening this reality warper who is going to be rewriting the rules of magic, it is really cool to see him in this series, because we are just laying the foundations of magic, but they're going to change right before our eyes if they continue on with this multi-dimensional reality warping thing. The other thing about Wiccan is he is the demiurge. He's demiurge. He is very cutesy, very demiurge. That was bad. Anyway, but it's essentially the, like, being that America Chavez worshipped as a kid because he saved reality. It's somebody she then goes and meets and is friends with and is a part of the Young Avengers with, but she does realize that he doesn't know what he's doing just as much as everybody else, and it kind of breaks her whole perception of, like, heroes. So I do think that they could do the, like, Multiverse of Madness. The statue was Wanda, and then there was also Wiccan. So if there's these two very prominent magical figures, I think they will do the Demiurge thing for Wiccan, because he is so powerful. Exciting. That means Young Avengers spinoff, right? We're setting it all up anyway. I do think if we do get Young Avengers, we'll probably do Kids Crusade, or we'll do The Mother, which is from the Young Avengers 2013. I'm gonna do like a whole thing for that run and the Young Avengers, so like, wait for that video, it's coming out shortly. Back to the episode when Agatha, you know, picks up his chin and says, "You're just like your mother." The Scarlet Witch theme from WandaVision plays very lightly in the background, and it's so cool to see the little leitmotifs throughout. There's a moment, and I think it is when she realizes that Teen isn't her son, and it really, like, solidly hits that she resorts to rage because it is something that can protect her, but she is also enraged, furious that Wanda has gotten everything that she has ever wanted. She has her son back. She has, you know, really strong powers. She has the ability to cheat death, essentially, because I do firmly believe we'll see Wanda in this series. There's a blank card in the opening title where somebody should be, and it's over Westview, so I would imagine that that's Elizabeth Olsen. But she has gotten everything that Agatha wants, and then Wiccan is angry because he gets that rage from his mother. And how people have treated his mom is the same way that he reacts when somebody has treated him poorly. Has, you know, killed his friend, like the one person who cared about him on the road, really, before everybody kind of got closer. And like the one person he really bonded with is now dead, so he is angry about it. So the thing about the road is that the road will give you what you want the most if you make it to the end. And this entire time we have been set up that Wiccan really wants magic. They're not at the end of the road, and Wiccan has very powerful magic. So what we're trying to find out is, what does he actually want? And I believe it's that he wants his mom back. Because again, in a lot of the Young Avengers things, his relationship with his mother, he spends a lot of the time when she is dead or off the grid trying to find her with his brother Tommy, until he is told that he should live in the present moment. And then they do kind of try to live in the present. And I hope it's in the same way that we see Nadia Maximoff in the comics, and she is like a ghost because she is dead. I don't want her to be dead, but I want her to be the spirit guide so bad. And I hope we get a moment regardless of just her and Wiccan talking. I think it would be really good. There is some other things that are hinted further on in the series that could relate into the comics as well. We have the scene with Agatha and him in like the same gown that Wanda had had when she was experimented on with the Infinity Stone. In the comics, Tommy was actually experimented on to become the ultimate super weapon. So I wonder if they will do something like that, and that's his like what happened to me when I was 13, or if it would just reflect Wanda and like be something that brings him closer to Wanda, and Agatha is helping with that, because maybe she does decide to help. Because why is she helping him if she is, you know, come on pet, and being drowned in quicksand? I don't know how you come back from that, but it's Marvel and my favorite character is Loki, so I never accept death in the MCU. Or in Marvel in general. If you haven't been spoiled for Rio's true identity, this is where you will leave and come back at a later date to come watch, because we like you here and you want to see the end of the video, right? I am going to talk about some spoilers, so give a like and a follow, and I'll see you guys next time. If you are staying, you know that Rio is Lady Death. My running theory is that Rio is actually like Leah in the comics, Leah being Loki's ex-girlfriend, who is the handmaiden of Hela and then was sent to the beginning of time to avoid Loki essentially corrupting her. But I'm focusing more on like the handmaiden of death, even though it is not specifically Hela, because Hela is dead in the MCU. I do think they might start out with this like serving somebody, if it is Mephisto. If it is Death themselves, we don't know. But it's something that I really think would be cool, and a lot of the like themes are there. She's in the Young Avengers, but I do think that if we think about the trial, punishing Agatha when Death is in the room is a little weird. So if it's who Rio once worked for before becoming Lady Death, or if she's not actually Lady Death yet and she will become Lady Death at the end of whatever trial she has, and she is just working for somebody, that kind of falls into the like handmaiden idea that I have for Rio in my head. Death wants Agatha punished, and Death is right there and obviously doesn't want Agatha punished. But that's everything I think I noticed in this episode. Very, very heavy comic themes coming up, or like hinted at, or like I kind of hope for in the future, but that's about it right now. How are you liking Agatha All Along so far? Definitely leave a comment below to tell us. And are you excited about Wiccan? Do you still think he's Wiccan? They said there's more stuff to be revealed, so leave a comment and give me your thoughts on who he might be, or if he is Wiccan, or what else might be revealed. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.